Wait, your cam broke? Oh,
Looks
it
like
broke.
Yeah.
Turn it off and turn it back on again. Or just hit it from the top, you know. I'll just talk to the big red eye down below. Hello.
Well, we'll get it fixed in a second.
I could just entertain you, though, by just constantly giving you the usher, you know. No time for losers. You know, but...
We're back, I guess. I think the camera just crashed.
That's
genuinely just the only possible explanation I can come up with. As a Marvel Snap gamer, I have no idea what it's like when an application crashes unexpectedly. I've never experienced that.
What are bugs?
Yeah, I just don't know. You ever think there's a Datamine card that's existed for a while? It's called Bug. You ever think that like they didn't release it just so we couldn't do that joke with the card Bug?
I remember seeing it many moons ago.
Yeah.
In the data mine sites back when I regularly
back when you were allowed to
looked
talk about those.
Yeah, back when I was able to investigate and do videos, and then I opted not to because I don't like doing 3-minute intros saying this is only my opinion.
I love it. It's my favorite thing.
I
love disclaimers. That's what they call me. They call me Kane Disclaimer.
Yeah, that's what they call you behind your back. I am full well aware of that card Bug. I thought it was perfectly hysterical and ironic that they could intentionally put a bug in the game.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly from, again, way back in the day, it wasn't just one. They had several, right? There were variants of it also. And if that's the case, this could be something along the lines of like a J. Jonah Jameson type thing, where J. Jonah was in the game data since beta and then just sat there for years until his time.
Yep. Yeah, I worry this gives Mephisto fans false hope. I worry about that.
I worry just as much for the Firestar fans too. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened there.
Bring me Duggan.
Right. Okay. Do we want to talk about actual good Marvel Snap cards, or you want to keep talking about, this? We could talk about Red Wolf. We could talk about plenty of bad cards.
You said good Marvel Snap cards. You realize?
No, I know.
That, right?
I was saying Red Wolf is grouped in with Dum Dum as in terms of reference, in terms of like ability to impact the Marvel Snap metagame. We could talk about good cards instead of talking about Dugan and Red Wolf.
Duke? You call?
Or we can talk about the OTA. We could talk about that too.
Yeah. Wait, Dugan or Duggan?
I assumed it was Dum Dum Dugan. I've always assumed that. I read the comics. There was a comic. I don't know if you know this. I think it was Al Ewing's. It was Al Ewing's. I don't remember what the run it was, but Sunspot was running AIM, I think. And they just made a bunch of clones of Dum Dum Dugan. This was a plot point for some reason I can't remember, but I distinctly remember a lot of clones of Dum Dum Dugan doing like the hello, nice to meet you, hi gag. I distinctly remember it.
I always thought it was Duggan only because it keeps the consistency across the U's. Dum Duggan, like just
I can't rebut that, I fear.
Well, if it ever does become Dugan, I will gladly rescind and ask you to help reprogram my brain and literally teach me how to Dugan. Please.
Can you put the music in there? Can you just like do the... Can you
teach me how to Dugan? Teach me how to
Dugan. No.
Yeah.
Like just the first like little bit, just like
no.
Okay. You hate fun. I get it.
No, I just love monetization. That's all. This is on my channel. you know, it is my gig, as you said, so that's fine, whatever. You know what? It almost feels obligatory, otherwise we lose the audience if we don't talk about the OTA first whenever there's an OTA week. Because I've seen it happen where it's like, when do they talk about the OTA? Skip. Oh, they're going to talk Red Wolf, that guy? Skip. Like, I think we have to go
on the KMB
there.
cast. On the KMB cast, when we did the mailbag, I gave Butt permission to just do whatever he wanted in terms of order. So he picked a basketball question first, and all the comments were like, when do they start talking about Marvel Snap?
I know. I heard that. I remember that episode. And
I knew it would happen. Like, as soon as I gave him control, he picked that question. I was like, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. I should not have done that. I should have given him editorial control.
This is why, you know, it was also a great decision to bring him on the KMB cast, because he doesn't understand how good of a engagement baiter he is by accident.
I think that's what you used to say about me, except I still don't purposefully engagement bait. If I ever tell you I was engagement baiting, imagine, you know, the meme where like the guy is smirking and then he's taking off the mask of the smirk and he's crying behind it. That's what's happening.
No, but like, I mean it. He doesn't even realize, you know, and I love him to death, but like, he doesn't even realize that he's good at engagement baiting and he's trying to piss people off unintentionally, as weird as that sounds. Like saying anybody who plays a Scorpion, who loses to Scorpion decks is dumb, just outright dumb. I heard that take and I was like, oh, this is unknowingly genius. Cause I know he's not doing it on purpose for the purpose of engagement, but the amount of people that will comment underneath, which boosts the numbers, like as a YouTuber, really smart, really smart.
Here's my thing. As a YouTuber, I take far more psychic damage from negative comments, and that is it's not quantifiable, but I feel it, right? And I don't know how many numbers it would take to make up for it. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, I don't know if engagement actually correlates to higher income. I don't know that. I don't know that people engaging in your comments makes the video get seen more. I don't know that. I have no proof of that. People say that, but I don't know how, and I don't know by how much. And the pain, the psychic pain, buddy, it'd have to be doubling my shit. Like, I don't think it's doing that.
Yeah, that's fair. That is completely fair. Where do you want to start? The obvious or the less obvious?
I guess I can't read your mind, so I don't know what you mean by those two things.
This isn't Nocturne all over again. I'm being legitimate. Like, name the card you want to start with.
Oh, you mean like card? Sorry, I thought you meant like, you know, do you want to start by talking about the OTA or talking about how, despite the fact that it kind of looks like a nothing OTA, some of these are actually like kind of something changes?
Pick the ones pick where you want to go. We will adjust and make it happen.
I will say that what is most likely is we should just start with the cards and then we'll talk about a thing overall at the end.
Okay. Bring it on screen then. Let's talk about the OTA. We'll talk about the big boy first. Wilson Fisk. Losing his
slightly smaller boy. They put his ass on Ozempic, dude. They were just like, just give him a little bit. They just started his thing. He's in the first month and he got a little smaller, and it's healthier for him. It's healthier for everyone around him. He's a little less red, a little less overweight, a little less big.
And a little less playable? Little?
Yeah, probably.
You know, I think the card that gets hurt the most by this is probably Skaar.
I disagree. I think the card that gets hurt the most by this is probably Wilson Fisk.
No, because Wilson Fisk losing his point of power still makes Wilson Fisk. But
yes,
Skaar goes back into the collection because he's a lot harder. Wilson Fisk will still be used.
That is true. I'm not sure to what degree Wilson Fisk was making that deck functional, for what it's worth. But it did just get Thanos too, so like, you know, it's probably a wash at worst. But that is I think a pretty impactful change. Obviously, like the highlight of this, but might not be the most important one because I still think he's just going to be really damn good. Like, this is still a good card.
Yeah.
I think that it's still very close to a Prio deck staple. Maybe Kraglin's a little bit better, but I'm honestly not convinced because I think Wilson Fisk is on more than Kraglin is a lot of the time. Jane Foster, a card that definitely gets better. Very solid here as well, but I just sort of... I wouldn't be shocked if he just like randomly started disappearing, but I don't think it'll necessarily be a correct thing so much as just people being like, oh, I got to cut him, he's nerfed, and then like just being wrong about that.
I think the TOV deck gets hurt the most by it, hands down, more than the Super Giant D type stuff because heavier oriented one, excuse me. Because I think a good comparison now is you look at him in that shell the same way I would look at, my God, DJ Octopus. Crap. That guy. Monstro. There we go.
DJ Octopus.
Had a brain fart. And I was like,
image, picture, eight arms. Octopus.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That guy. You legitimately think about, okay, there's get big cards out shell, and then there's the TOV versions. And the TOV versions that need to have that Skaar play to get the extra piece of point of power where you've got an 8 power card that needs to get one more. No, oh, sorry, it doesn't get the reduction. You got to play 2 TOVs or you got to get TOV down twice to make it happen. That is a big difference in that deck because that extra card and the consistency of that Skaar being a 312 or a 112 sometimes, that is a big deal in that deck. And the harder you make that happen, the total ceiling of that deck goes way down. And I think that gets hurt a lot more. But the other end of it, looking at like the Super Giant-y type stuff, I don't think right now anything Super Giant-y would be able to keep up in the current meta. I think it's good, but I think it's a solid, like, Super Giant, you could almost consider the new Victoria Hand.
No. I'm
the inquiry of that no was
here.
so good. So good.
They're both women? Where are you going with this?
The tier of the deck. I need to figure out the meta for the next 3, 4, 5 days when an OTA drops. What am I playing? You play a Super Giant deck, right?
Oh, that's
formerly.
I think that's not what Super Giant is like. That's interesting. I think Super Giant is much better when you know what people are doing. So like when it's post OTA metagames and post new card releases, weird shit is happening. That is not how I think of Super Giant at all. I actually think of Super Giant as like when things stay the same for a while, that's a Super Giant meta. When there's more certainty, that's a Super Giant meta.
But you also play Super Giant a little bit differently than I do.
Maybe.
You are very much a Super Giant tech focused person where you are specifically looking at, let me load in a Cosmo, a Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and a Juggernaut, and a Shadow King, and
no.
You know what I mean?
I don't play Juggernaut in there. He costs 4. But I will say that's fair. A little bit like saying, you and I, we play Thanos Fractured Frontier differently. You play the cards off the top of your deck, whereas I simply do not do that. Like you're describing
no, because there's different constructions
functioning of a Super Giant deck. Super Giant is a deck you play to do Negasonic Cosmo stuff. That's the norm. That's what you do with it, right? Like that's the thing you do. That's what you do. That's the whole thing. Should I say it again? I realize I just said, that's the thing you do. That's what you do. That's the whole thing. Mildly redundant, perhaps. But you're
just excited. That's all. That's fine.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
passionate
just
about your
really
super
into
giant.
it.
Clearly.
Yeah, don't misread my girl by comparing her to Victoria Ann, dude. You can't.
No, because
you can't do that.
no, it's one of those decks that if you're trying to climb into the top 100, your definition makes a lot more sense. If you're just looking for consistency to climb from 70 to 80, to just have something good B tier that will work more often than not, that's how I play it. I look at that deck as I need something that's going to just be good. That's what I look at.
I definitely don't think of Supergiant as a floor deck like that. When I think of floor decks like that, they're mostly like a points thing, something a little more proactive than Supergiant. I think the more reactive you are, the less of a floor deck you are. And frankly, the fact that you can describe Supergiant in those terms is indicative that she is quite a powerful card. Because like all of her strength is in specificity and knowing what your opponents are doing, and you don't know that early on. So if you feel confident enough in her, I mean, it's not a surprise that she's strong with the Golden Gauntlets she's won. But man, that's really a testament to her.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying she's a bad card by any stretch of the imagination. But when I think about the impact of Wilson Fisk losing a point of power, I think that deck still loves this card because the condition of what that is doing for that deck doesn't go down enough. It doesn't make you say that you have to play Starbrand now. No, you can still play Wilson Fisk. It fits perfectly in that deck for what that deck is trying to do. It doesn't affect that deck. But the deck that it was benefiting, in my opinion, in the current metagame more so, which was the TOV stuff with the Skaar stuff, because it's so easy to get 1 point of power onto a Wilson Fisk to make it have that extra reduction for Skaar. That combo is where I see this going, oh, you know what? That's why we don't always see DJ Squid in all of those decks. You very often see...
He's a different DJ now. He would change species. It's a totally different guy.
Yes, he lost 2 legs. So now it's just DJ Squid.
Jesus Christ.
So he's going to be DJ Quadruped, and we'll just keep.
Have I told you my theory for why I've seen a lot of, people questioning why they put Dr. Octopus in Fractured Frontier. Have I told you my theory for why they did this?
No, but I'm intrigued.
It's because he's armed. See, like your first instinct is that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and then your second instinct is that's definitely why they did it.
We're done here. God damn it, man.
Like the worst part about it is I'm right? Like the worst part about it is like, you're like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. And then you think about it and you're like, I actually can't think of a better reason why Dr. Octopus would be here. Someone was in a meeting and they were like, who should we put in the Wild West? And someone was like, Dr. Octopus saying draw and drawing 10 guns at once. Does he have 6 extra arms or 8 extra arms? I assumed it was 8 extra arms, which would give him a total of 10. Whatever. I don't know my Doc Ock. You're right. It is 4. Anyway, drawing 6 guns at the same time. Imagine the jokes you could make about 6 shooters. Like, come on. It has to be the reason. There genuinely cannot be a better one.
I mean, mad scientist. I don't know. Like, that's all it's all I got. Like,
I think I figured it out, dude. I really do. I really think I got there.
Okay. Why is death in there?
Well, because Thanos is. It makes perfect sense, actually. That's that. If you'd asked basically anyone else, I would have had nothing. But death is in there because Thanos is.
I don't know lore like you do, so I'm asking.
Oh, okay. So Thanos's lore is he's a big death simp. So if the season pass character is death or is Thanos, you choose death because you need like, oh, who's the barmaid love interest? Well, who's Thanos' love interest? Boom, done. Now, if you'd asked me about Jane Foster, no idea. Sheriff is my best guess. If you ask me about Psylocke, No idea. I don't even have a best guess for that. I cannot even begin to figure out why the hell she would be in here at all. But I can speculate on Death and I can speculate on Doc Ock for sure. I'm fairly confident in those two. And I think, Jane Foster, it's like we want the sheriff character who would be a kind of sheriff character. It's a Thor. They're kind of like cops. I don't know. And for anyone who says the Thors aren't like cops, read Secret Wars and I think the Thor Corps can definitely be like cops. That's all I'm saying.
Only thing I got is just like for those two is the fact that they have other weapons to wield, and that's kind of like the crux of it. I mean, you look at Jane Foster, she's got a Mjolnir gun.
Yeah. The Mjolnir.
That's what you're going with?
The Mjolnir.
It's going to be the shortest recording ever. My God, man.
No, this is so good. This is so good. This is the intended result of most of my jokes, and I've gotten it twice in one episode.
You're batting 1,000. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Batting 1,000. Yep.
It's taken however many episodes of this show that we've done, but I got it twice. Like you hit your threshold, and it was like, now that we've passed it, now it's happened once. It's a thing now. I'm going to get more. I'm going to get more.
Good job. So yeah, Wilson Fisk, that guy, he's still going to get play. Not going to be as much play. He's still going to be good and solid. But to me, it just affirms, look, I more often than not feel like I'm going to end up playing Kraglin over Wilson Fisk now rather than a 50-50, which one's better. More often than not, I'm probably leaning towards Kraglin, but that's just me.
It depends on your deck, right? Like,
yeah.
Kraglin basically functionally says the more 4s and up you run, the less you can play me. Because you never get to use that energy meaningfully well. Like, you're playing him to be a stats guy. The hit you want is the 3/9. And
the only other way is to use it as a ramp card. It's either you're all in one direction or all in the other direction. That's it.
Pretty much. And sometimes, like, in some Thanos contexts, it's fine. But it's part of why I was so high on Jane is because I think people think of Kraglin as a 3/9 and don't necessarily think like, well, not really. Like, there's some meaningful constraints here where Jane is just like floor super high, ceiling super high, put her in everything. Like that's I was much higher on Jane than a lot of other people were because of my relatively lower estimation of Big K, relatively lower estimation of Kraglin, which is still, I suppose, higher than the consensus. But yeah, I think there's a very real chance that what happens here is we learn Jane is actually the best 3-drop rather than Kraglin being it. Which, by the way, free Reddit post, they nerfed Wilson Fisk to sell Jane Foster. There you go. Upvotes to the left.
You go on Reddit?
Yeah. I mean, the worst part about me is, as much as I deride Redditors, my Reddit account has like the award for being 10 years old on it.
Huh.
Yeah. I've been on Reddit for a decade. Isn't that just the worst sentence on earth? Other than, I suppose, they buffed Mad Thinker.
Thank you for getting to the transitional joke. So Mad Thinker got an extra point of power where at the start of each turn, after drawing, +2 power if your hand is full. Baseline 1/3. I was just having this conversation talking about buffs and how different they are on different different cost cards. 1 power on a 1 cost card is very meaningfully different than 1 power on a 6 cost card. Plain and simple. But it's still Mad Thinker. And
right, like we could have started there.
Here's my theory. The only reason we finally got a buff to Mad Thinker is because Red Wolf sucks. I think they're trying to say you need to lean more into this deck.
I'll say this. I think that they could have done that independent of Red Wolf sucking. Because
could have done that a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. The real thing that I kind of think what I want out of Mad Thinker is to reward his payoff a little bit more. Like, if
Okay.
this were me, I would say 1/1 plus 3. I'd be much happier with a card that is telling me to do things that are more like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even 1/2 plus 3. It's Mad Thinker. Like, come on, how bad could it possibly be, right? But the big thing pushing against Red Wolf Devil Dino decks is Devil Dino and many big fives are cards you play in lanes alone to win that lane.
Right.
And it turns out that that is the single class of cards that Thanos Fractured Frontier has taken the biggest dump on. Because not only is he taking a dump on them in the context of, I'm better than you in the deck that you are playing, he is also taking a dump on them in the context of, I am soul stoning you. And you were played in this lane alone. Get out. And so, like, when we talk about what makes Red Wolf bad, which he is bad, it's partially the Red Wolf part and partially the decks he goes in part. And Thanos is a big part of it. Like, people say, oh, they make cards good to sell them. But sometimes when they make a card good, it means they don't sell future cards, right? And this is a case where Thanos is kind of eating Red Wolf. And if if you had me in a boardroom and you were like, one of these cards has to sell, yeah, I'd pick Thanos. Like, I would like it. I get it. But like, people talk about power creep like it's this absolute thing. And someone was going back through my old videos and posted a clip of the old Loki deck. And I was struck by this because I am very sure that the old Loki deck with 2/0 plus 2 Angela and 2/0 plus 2 Collector, like, that deck, you play it right now and it's better than everything right now. That deck, if it existed right now, would be better. That is from September 2023. It's like, we talk about power creep, but I don't think it's exact. Like, the difference is
that was power smack you in the face. That's what that was.
Sure. But the other thing is, that was like a 2026 deck in 2023. You know, like, that's what it is, right? Yeah. The outliers now are, relative to the other decks in the metagame, way less significant. Because what has actually been power crept is that there is now this like middle class of cards. There are now a bunch of cards that like weren't what they are now in 2023 because of all this +1 -1 bullshit they've done that no one notices until you're comparing over 3 years. And then you're like, oh yeah, there actually is a lot less of a gap than there used to be. And it's still notable that there is, there's clear outliers in these metagames, right? Like, we know what they are. But none of them seem as clear to me as that deck. When I look at that deck and I'm like, what the hell were other people doing? Like, what? Yeah. Like, and then you look at a card like Original Elsa Bloodstone, which is the 2/2 that gave, what was it? Was it a 2/2 that gave +3? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Thinking about it, I'm like,
they could not make that today. They could not make that card today. They would not. They would, like, even today, that would be like, what the fuck are you doing? That would be a ridiculous thing to do. A scaler at 2 that scales by 2 with a repeatable enough condition as Old Angela or Old Collector, they couldn't make that either. They just couldn't do it. Like, it's really notable that the way in which Marvel Snap has become more powerful has been about synergy and not about stats. Because that Angela and that Collector would still be the best 2 drops in the game in terms of scaling. They would right now be the best at it. And that's really, really interesting to me.
So I'm going to kind of segue with the whole Mad Thinker conversation as well, too, because I was in the middle of dinner earlier, and because I had also spent today trying to make Red Wolf something decent, right? I was trying to figure out the best way to play Red Wolf. I tried up in a variety of shells, including Bounce, trying to get him to do the stuff and try to figure out a deck where he isn't, keyword, isn't the 12th card downgrading the 12th card of a deck.
We need a word for that. we need a word for like just a phrase that can shortcut that for people. Like, worse 12th, maybe. I don't know. Like, we need like a shitty Christmas present. You know what you see when we're getting on like the 12 days, like
Yeah.
What do they get on the 12 days of Christmas? I'm Jewish. What do they? What's the 12th thing in the song?
You think I listened to the song that long that I'm gonna
I don't
get to
know,
the 12th?
dude.
Like,
I've never actually never thought about it.
I don't know, Lords
What
of
is it?
Leaping or
This is
something.
the
No, that's
12th
10.
Day
No.
of Christmas lyrics.
I don't know.
My true love sent
I know from
to me.
I know it's I know from like
12
10 on.
drummers drumming. It's 12 drummers drumming, apparently.
12 drummers drumming, 11 ladies dancing, 10 lords of leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids in milk, and 7 swans to swim, and 6 geese to legging, 5 golden break. Okay, got it. Yeah, okay, I got the rhythm now.
Yeah, it's 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping.
Piping. Yeah, I was like, I'm thinking of the Time Life Christmas Classics CDs that if you're old enough to know what those are and listening to this podcast, you better be hitting that subscribe button because
you like
we all need to pay for Advil together. Are you
a fan of CDs?
Back in the day, you only got
CDs
that song,
nuts.
that version. You feel better about yourself now that you got the CDs joke.
Wait, you're not gonna cut to the stream is ending screen?
No.
It's been a banger podcast for me.
Yeah, you've been a fucking 1,000. But,
having a great day.
So I was playing Red Wolf and all day, and after about 5 hours of testing yesterday, 4 hours of testing today, trying anything from Thanos to bounce to anything in between, just constantly felt like shit. And then I'm at dinner, and I was actually listening to the beginning of the KMB cast, and the idea hit me as to Mad Thinker and try to figure out like the combination of why isn't this working and why haven't we figured out this card? And I have a theory on it, which is
mad theory.
Sure, we'll call it a mad theory.
Yeah, mad theory.
That it is. We have literally all been playing the card completely wrong, legitimately. And this isn't a joke or a transition of like just keep it in the collection. I'm being completely serious about it too.
It would have been a good punchline. I'm just saying.
It would have been. No,
nice.
So
it was nice with it.
And I want to run as a deck builder, because you don't like to be a carny in the sense of testing crap. I want to show you an idea, and I want you to talk through how you see my mind working on this, besides thinking I'm fucking crazy. And I'll explain the deck, because I legitimately think it's how something along these lines is how we probably should have been playing the card to begin with. So let me just like switch over to the deck view. Okay.
See, I'll just let the audience know that right now I am not convinced by the part where he said it wasn't a bit.
No, I'm completely serious. So my theory,
what is different about this from how people would be playing it normally?
This is an Invisible Woman deck.
Okay.
So the idea is that he is a 2/8 always. Because the deck for the audio listeners, the deck is Quinjet, Mad Thinker, Snowguard, Red Wolf, Collector, Kate Eye. We're calling her Kate Eye now. Invisible Woman, Moon Girl, Nick Fury, Devil Dino, Thanos Fractured Frontier, and Essen. So here's the theory behind the strategy of this deck. There's two lines playing together. Number one, Thanos Fractured Frontier, which wants you to play the card that you draw. The card that you draw is going to make cards that don't get quick draw on them. That's fine. Those cards stay in your hand. That's how you want that to work. But what do you do with those cards? Well, you can either leave them in your hand or progressively play them out later on. You want to have a full
Invisible Woman adding?
The Invisible Woman is throwing on the idea that you can put a Devil Dino down, either behind the Invisible Woman and let it scale later on as a surprise big 5, or you're putting it down as cheap, and then behind the Invisible Woman is where you put Snowguard, Kate Bishop, Moon Girl, and you
the hand.
I'll tell
you
the
why
Red
I
Wolf
think
behind it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And then
Yeah,
it's a
no, I'm with
2/8.
you. I'm with you.
That's
I'll tell you why
the
I think
idea
you're
of where I'm
making
in
a
there.
mistake here. Like, I assume that's what you're asking. Like, what is it that you think is fucking wrong about this? Basically, what I'm seeing that I think is wrong about this is that you're over-indexing for something that is cute and going to catch people out. Like, oh, I put my cards on Invisible Woman, so I dodged the Shang-Chi on the Devil Dinosaur. That's a great play when you can make it. But it's not a great play when you have to build your deck to do it because it's a very specific scenario. And I think that, like, if I had to name the thing that is like, when I see what's going on here and I'm like, what is the core idea? What are you getting at here? What you're doing is you're playing around Shang-Chi and Shadow King mostly. Like, those are the things you're like dodging by doing this. Is like,
You do
my
dodge
collector's
them.
going to
It's a part of
gain
it.
power after it. My Devil Dinosaur is going to gain power after the fact. Invisible Woman's just a good card. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But
Agreed.
I do think that, like, largely that's the edge you gain, which in a metagame, like we talked about the 2023 metagame, it'd be super worth doing that. You do everything you can to dodge Shang-Chi. That's really important. That's a really important thing to do. There have been times where this would have been a thing that's like, okay, you know what? That makes sense. We're not in one of the metagames where you need that right now. We're in a metagame where if I'm going to play a Devil Dinosaur, the thing I'm concerned with is, do I have another thing next to it in the lane so I don't get soul stoned? And I guess more than that, I'm concerned with, do I have enough points to win a game? But, like, it's definitely a thing where it's like a lot of the upside of doing this is in the dodging. And the things you're dodging are actually relatively on the downswing. So like, it's cool if you, like, it's one of those plays where it's like, this is really cool if it happens, but you're not going to be in a situation where you need it very often.
I think you're over-indexing on the idea that this is specifically a 2023 style dino build because it is a dino card versus the idea that you've got a collector that scales late in general in one lane. You've got a mad thinker that's actually getting its triggers. You've got a red wolf that regularly now, legitimately in any lane, not just behind Invisible Woman, but because of all of the additions that go into your hand.
You make points, but you're not going to look at me. You're not going to look me in the eye and tell me this deck is as good at making points as Batroc. You're not going to say that, right?
No, I'm not.
You're not going to look me. I got a couple more of those, right? I know,
yeah.
I know. But you're not going to look me in the eye and tell me this deck is going to be as good at making points at Batroc. You're not going to look me in the eye and you're going to tell me this deck is going to be as good at beating Thanos as Scorpion. You're not going to look me in the eye and tell me this deck is as good at making points or dealing with opposing points as TOV. What you're going to do is you're going to say, I can play this. And you absolutely can. But that doesn't mean that it's good. Like, this is sort of actually a great example of what I was talking about when I talked about how the outliers in modern Snap are actually a lot closer to what a, like, just normal collection of, like, someone building about a theme deck would be. Because this is one of those, this is a deck where you were just like, here are a bunch of cards that have a similar theme. I want a full hand, and I want to get all the cards that benefit from me having a full hand in it. So I'm going to play all these created cards, and it's going to be pretty good. Like, it's going to be a playable experience. Right. This was not true for a large portion of Snap's history.
No, but I agree with you there.
Yeah. And so, like, I think this is a deck you are allowed to play. But it's not a deck I'd ever say is the best or close to the best or particularly good at doing any of those things.
It was never the goal.
It's just okay. I understand that.
Yeah.
But, like,
it was asking, how do we do this?
To? Right, like, who are you talking to, right? Like,
I'm talking to someone who doesn't like to build decks. So as a deck assessor,
I'm fine to build decks. But, like, the big thing for me is, why this? Right? Like, that's the thing that you need, the barrier that I don't think this deck crosses. Is like,
it does.
Why should I be doing this instead of anything else? And if you're asking me, like, how to make this deck better, largely my instinct is that you kind of want some more beef in the 3 slot and less Isan would be kind of where my head would be at.
Yeah.
Like, if you're asking me how to make this deck better, you want less Isan, Nick Fury, and more of the cards that are good, probably.
before Thanos Fractured Frontier was put into here, I originally had Warlock as a...
We don't like that, but I see where you're going with it.
You see what I'm saying? That's why Essen was in here, because it could have been the alternate turn 5 play, depending on what you're doing, get 2 pulls out, etc. That was the reason for that, and he's been cut, and till you said it, completely didn't even realize. I'm like, oh yeah, sure,
your
that
curve
helps
kind of
one
looks
lane,
ridiculous,
but shit.
right? It's like,
oh, it's intentionally low, but that's because you're also
well,
adding
it's low
3
until
drops
it's
and
not,
2 drops
right?
and one. Sorry,
like
Say again?
it's 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 4 4 5 5 6. Like it's like
But
low
you're-
until it very much isn't.
and but that's how you make that stuff work, though.
I get it,
That's
but
the
like
only way
you
to
need
make
the
it
curve
work.
to be low. You need the curve to be low after that too, is what I'm saying, right? Like you're like, oh, I'll mix in a Hawkeye and a Snow Guard and all of that. You
Right.
need to be able to play a 3 and some other stuff on 4, right? Like you need to be able to do that too.
Yeah, there's gonna be a way to play Red Wolf. This was the closest I got
when they make him a 2-3
conceptually.
in 2 weeks.
No, they'll definitely make him a 2/2. I
They
honestly
will.
think they
That's
will.
the worst part. They never actually like the Lockheed buff to 2/2 made me so sad because it was like if that was a 2/3, I'd play that card, and they just refused to do it.
Well, that's
They're just
because
like,
you love
nope.
Kitty Pryde.
Get a 2/2. You get a 2/2. But no, it's a 2/3. All right, okay. Well, I guess I'm not doing that.
I mean, I prefer a leotard, but whatever you're into, man. So that's fine.
That's quite good. Really proud of that. That's really good. That is really phenomenal. Well done.
I try. Dance mom. Red Wolf is crap. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Try to figure out a way to make it work. Mad Thinker's supposed to help that deck, but it's Mad Thinker. So unfortunately, not really of value. I'm personally and really intrigued at Hydro-Man at 510 for that Skaar build for that deck. I am very intrigued in this at a ramp build in some capacities. I liked the card when it came out, and I just thought it was cool. It's a really fun concept. But the decks I wanted to play it in didn't make sense.
Yeah, you talk about Skaar getting hit. This is a Skaar buff, dude. I'm just glad they're finally touching. I'm so glad they're touching this rail. Because I don't know if I'm sure I've talked about this. There's no chance I haven't, because I am nothing if not a guy who has opinions, and this opinion has remained the exact same for like 3 years. It's deeply fucked up that there are more cards with double-digit power on the card at the 4 cost than the 5 cost.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been afraid to touch that rail ever since they had to nerf Arrow, because Skaar was too good.
Yes.
And I think that is ridiculous. I think that is absolutely ridiculous and should have ended. I don't know. Whenever they did what they did to Surtur to make him not hit 10, it was okay to make 10s again. You know, they could do this again. And they decided to just avoid it until 2 months ago, basically. Like, it was just like, I guess we'll touch this stove. And it's like the stove had been off for 2 years. Not only was it not hot, it was like actually ice cold. They'd been allowed to do this the whole time. And they just were like, oh, I don't know about that. It was very scary that first time.
There is such PTSD in the Surtur world, in the Shang-Chi world, in the like, oh dear God,
unbelievable
double digits. Like the alarms come out, Ben Bro drops down on a rope from the ceiling. Like it's a scary time. And Shang-Chi got changed how long ago at this point?
Forever.
It was the tech apocalypse.
It was the tech apocalypse.
That thing. Yeah, that happened. And he just never came back. And he's seeing a little tiny bit of a renaissance right now, just because he is a good counter to Thanos. I am seeing him a little tiny bit more. Not enough to say that he's back, but enough to say, okay, I am noticing him. But Hydro-Man as a solid ass 5/10 that helps your game plan, I have to look at that as being good, plain and simple. I see it as being good. And that Wilson Fisk TOV deck is getting this card.
I don't know that we need that stuff, but like between this and Thanos, the Surtur deck has some good ass 5s now.
It does. Like, but it's Surtur. And that version of Surtur, even with this.
I won't even, like, I think at this point, we can't even call it the Surtur deck. The Skaar deck has some good ass 5s now.
Right. Skaar. It's a Skaar deck.
Yeah.
Yep. I 100% agree with you on that.
Is, if Rescue went to 10, we might be playing her. Because if you think about how Rescue works with Thanos, like Rescue Thanos clone, it's gotten the buff from the face down card. So you would then get, like, if Rescue said +5, what would happen is you'd Rescue, Thanos would show up there, it would be 10, it would clone a 10 power Rescue with another on reveal on top of it. If she went to 10, we would play her ass. Second dinner. Get on this. Get on it.
Full on Apache style. While you were saying that, you also intrigued me on a very interesting combo that...
Sorry, I just got your joke because you pronounced it Apache. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't get it. But it took me a little bit.
What do you say? Apache? Like,
yes, that's how the
Apache?
song goes.
Is it French?
No, it's Apache. Jump on it. Like, that's what they say in the song.
You're not wrong. No, but while you were doing that, you got me intrigued on the idea of this card and figuring out something that includes these three: Doc Ock, Fractured Frontier, Wiccan, and Hydro Man. I was like, Wiccan, make your Wiccan line happen. Turn 5, you play Doc Ock into Hydro Man. So you get your big card put back onto the top of your deck by Doc Ock, whatever's in the left part of your hand, you put it back on the top of your deck. You then Hydro Man it and get it back. So what, you just going to hold on to a big card till the end of the game.
I'll tell you,
and then swap it in. That's
I'm
cool.
with you. I think that is cool. I'll tell you what I don't like about it. What I don't like about it is that my big problem with Wiccan decks, no, I mean, like, yeah, other than that, right? But like, Wiccan decks tend to have too many resources and not enough shit to do with them.
That is completely fair.
And this is putting me down a resource, you know? Like, it's putting me down some shit to do. When I'm playing Wiccan, I'm not gated on, like, energy, right? That's not my problem. My problem is doing something good with that energy.
Yeah.
And I think the average card I draw is going to be worth more than the 3 points from Doc Ock. Although I guess he gives me a card too. Maybe the random card he makes is going to be the thing I play. Maybe that's the angle. Maybe we just play the card from the top and then the random Doc Ock card and it's fine.
Yeah. Maybe that's it.
But yeah, also, like, the bigger the card you do with the Doc Ock, the less it needs 3 points, right?
It's not about the 3 points. It's about the positioning.
Oh, it's about the one? Okay.
It's about getting it to 1 cost.
I don't know.
That's
like,
what it's all about.
The other thing with it is, like, what? I'm playing Wiccan Hydro Man and I'm not going to be able to play my entire hand? Like, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
How are you going to do that?
Like, I don't know. We're deck building on a podcast right now for audio listeners, and they don't even see that I've got Quicksilver, Doc Ock, Fractured Frontier, Domino, Wiccan, Thanos Fractured Frontier, Hydro Man, and Fin Fang Boom on the screen. And I'm going, this is the beginning of something.
He was boiling poo.
Boiling something, yeah. Either way, Doc Ock is just a cool card. I'm just going to leave it at that. I really like the new Doc Ock.
I really agree. He's cool as hell. I fuck with some Doc Ock. He's probably better than Red Wolf.
Oh, he's absolutely better than Red Wolf. There's not even a question. Like, Mad Thinker might be better than Red Wolf right now.
Vincenzo. There's a Vincenzo Doc Ock in my shop right now, and boy, like, I don't know.
You have every Vincenzo. You know it's in your collection already. Bullshit. Don't try to play me.
Bro,
I know you.
Doc Ock.
You're doing it. There's not a doubt in my mind.
We'll see.
You know who you're not upgrading? Drax.
Who? Drax? No.
Because Drax.
Yeah. Yep. That's kind of the whole. Yep.
Because Drax. I mean,
I got nothing else to say.
So here's my theory on the whole Guardian thing, right?
Okay.
The Guardians are meant to have this whole play line where they're all consistent. They're all a team. Therefore, they all have the same ability, +4 power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye just got +4 power. Very differently, though, than Rocket Raccoon has.
Yeah, honorary
you know what I mean?
Guardian, Hawkeye.
Right, exactly. But you think about what +4 power does on a 1-cost card versus a 5-cost card in Gamora. And my theory is that they have the right idea, but the wrong execution. Here's what I think they should have done. For the whole set, their plus power should be reflected as their cost. So they finally got Drax close, but I would have rather have seen Rocket Raccoon be a 1/3 that gets +1. Then you've got get +2 for Star-Lord, get +3 for Groot, all the way through get +5 to Gamora. By doing that, I think by putting more value in the base power and a slight benefit on the cheaper cards, but a bigger benefit on the bigger cards, it has more flavor and play consistency to what you actually want the cards to do.
I don't disagree that would be a flavorful way to do it. I'm not sure I'd go as far as more flavor. I do disagree that would make people excited to play with the early ones. Like I think that largely what you would do with that
the
change,
early release,
the cheap ones.
Okay.
I think largely what you would do with that change is make people who currently play Rocket Raccoon not play Rocket Raccoon, and make people who currently play Star-Lord not play Star-Lord. And I think that is like you are correct in identifying that there is an imbalance. The cheaper ones are stronger right now. But I think that it's probably a little more important for them to just be willing to put bigger buffs on the bigger ones rather than keeping it as +4 than it is to like rework the entire thing. Because I think we all agree most of them kind of work. Like the first 3 probably work, right? I think that's like pretty reasonable. It's Drax and Gamora that like don't work. And like, I think to me, rather than reordering the ones that do work to facilitate the ones that don't work, they could just get the fuck over it and put a bigger number on Drax and then put a bigger number on Gamora.
I would love that.
Yeah, I just think that like that's the
flavor.
That, like if we're gonna, the flavor is still there. They still functionally have the same gameplay. No one cares about the flavor of the number. They care about how the card feels to play. No one's going to be like, he doesn't fit with the Guardians. Drax says +8. No one would say that.
I mean,
They've even demonstrated this when they did the Guardians for the Team Clash. None of them have the plus power. They're all just about play at the location because that's what the flavor is.
But then do you putting on that hat, then do you risk the flavor overlap being a problem? Because you want that unique reason to play them in that game mode because that's the flavor of that version. You don't
have to make the versions of them do anything other than power. But you just have to get over that it has to be 4. Get over it. Just stop. Stop it.
Just stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
Get some power. Like
yep.
I would have loved to have seen Drax as a straight up 4/7. Just like go right to the big number, make him a potential 4/11 if you hit. Great. Otherwise, solid 4/7 body. You know what? That's a card I'm playing. Legitimately. That's just good stats. And if it does the thing, it does the thing. That's what I want. Groot now being a 3/5, that might be a 3/9. If they had done this change a year ago, this change would have been fantastic, and we all would have loved this card.
I don't even think it's that bad right now. Like, you know, you're not going to play Groot, but like, God bless that there's actually just, oh, I don't have this 3/5 for a deck. What should I play? Groot. God bless. Like, yeah, Kraglin's out there, but like, this is budget Kraglin. And I think it's actually really important that there are answers to that question. Because the question I get a lot, oh, I don't have Kraglin. What can I play instead? Fuck. Like, I don't have to do that anymore, right? I can actually just say, you can play Groot. I don't have Copycat. What should I play instead? Groot. I don't have whatever 6,000 token 3/5 dipshit. Groot.
3/5 dipshit.
Yes. It's an archetype.
I wish I could make that the name of the podcast. That'd be great. Play any good old 3/5 dipshit. Episode 152.
I guess I'm a little confused that you're taken aback by that, because that's just always how I've thought about it. It's like, whatever 3/5 rate moron you want to play. It's the same. It's the same thing. I just used a different word. I don't know. Like, it's
just great. It's great phrasing.
I guess. But like, yeah, like I like, one of the things that I really want them to do more of is make there be budget backups. That's what I really, really like, is like make like the gap between the expensive card and whatever you'd replace it with if you don't own that card should be as small as possible. And I understand when I say as small as possible, they're a business. They're trying to sell cards. And some cards more than that, there are going to be no replacements for as they test out, you know, new mechanics and new ways of making cards. There's not a way to replace Thanos Fractured Frontier because he's a unique game piece. And sometimes when they make a unique game piece, there is not going to be a budget replacement for a unique game piece. But shit like this, there should be.
So you started to lean into the counterpoint already, which was, yeah, they are a business. They're going to have to figure out how to keep people playing. They're like, oh, wow, I've got a 3/4 Groot that does this thing. That's great. Woohoo. If the goal is, well, the upgrade to this deck is to get this 6,000 token Kraglin, then yeah, the incentive is to play until you get the card that upgrades your deck, and you're trying to work towards that and get your resources towards it, etc. And I think you have to be very careful for that long-term health of the game. If I'm looking at it through, wait, I need those glasses. If I'm looking at it through that developer lens for a second, you know, you don't want, the closer you make this is a 1-to-1 substitution for a card, the more dangerous it becomes, because then the value of that upgrade, that Kraglin in this instance, goes tremendously down.
When I said this, I want to be clear. When I said as small as possible, that as possible includes their bottom line, but it should still be the goal. Like, there should be, at least in some cases, a way to make a card that is worse than the shit they're trying to sell, but still good enough that the deck is not unplayable if you don't have that card. Especially when the thing they're trying to sell is rate dipshit. That is the safest kind of, like, we all agree this is worse than Kraglin. This is worse than all those other guys. We all agree with it, right?
Copycat,
it's worse than Jane Foster.
Yada, yada.
Yeah, it's worse than that. That's fine. It just needs to be 10% worse instead of 50% worse.
That's the counterpoint, though. When it goes from 50
no, I
to
get
10,
it. Like, whatever that gap is that is acceptable for their bottom line, push the gap right up to that line where it says this is good for our bottom line. Because my argument would be that more people probably quit this game because of the economy than because of the gameplay. And things that make it easier for them to exist in the economy include a wide variety of budget replacements. They don't have to be as good. They just have to be not fucking embarrassing. It was embarrassing to play Groot instead of Copycat before this. It is no longer embarrassing to do that. That's the line.
That's fair. Completely fair. But let's be completely honest. Still not playing the card. Let's talk.
Actually, like, I don't know. I'm actually kind of a lot higher on Groot than other people are. Anyway, please continue. Like, I really do think he's like actually a good card. I probably won't play him because I'm probably going to play Jane Foster instead. But like, I'm a little higher on him than I think a lot of other people are.
Let's talk Hawkeye in the same breath, where Hawkeye is also now a +4 instead of a +3. And we said it before that, you know, every point of power on a 1-cost card that you put on there is going to be really solid. This goes in every Supergiant deck now, in my opinion. I am playing this every single time. I am putting this and Domino in my deck. I am making that 9-power lane. Play a 3-cost card, play a 4-cost card. Go ahead and beat the priority on me there.
Yeah, you lost me with every part of that sentence. This is a bounce card, right? What are we
Oh no, it's
about?
A bounce card, but he's always been a bounce card. Now he's just a better bounce card.
Yeah, but like now he's like a really good bounce card. Like he's always been kind of marginal in bounce, right? Like no, like now he's like, we are playing Joaquin Torres Frigga. Like we're making a billion. That's real. Like we're way more incentivized to do stuff like this when we have a card that actually scales the way this guy can. Like this is like, that's a bounce card and that's a real thing. You talk about the buffs that were intended to make Red Wolf better. I look at this, right? I also say this, Hawkeye's a very interesting card because I'm typically pretty averse to them buffing early series cards because the worry is they're going to get imbalanced with other early series cards. And Hawkeye is really interesting in that context because specifically the things that I think make Hawkeye busted are not in the early series. I don't think a 1/5 is that busted for Series 1. I think bouncing it with Falcon and Beast and Toxin is where this could get problematic. So they have done a very good job at identifying a Series 1 that can have endgame relevance, but does not bring that endgame relevance into its Series 1 profile. And I really like that, and they should do it more. That way of thinking is definitely something that I hope they can replicate. I have not spent any time thinking about it since I saw it. I just I saw that, I recognized that, and I was like, I wonder if there's any more like that.
I also wonder if
Hawkeye, definitely one of them. Good job.
I wonder if there's also a PTSD fear about bounce just in general, where, you know, we have all these big cards, right? All these big cards do big things. And we kind of watched bounce. Obviously, it had a small renaissance and then it disappeared for a while. And people always just saw bigger card do bigger thing. I'm watching people currently, prior to the OTA, using Hawkeye in Thanos Fractured Frontier bounce. Instead of playing Iron Man, they're playing Thanos Fractured Frontier and hitting infinite with it.
I mean, that card is very good.
Yes, it is really good, especially in a deck that wants a lot of low cards that you can play when you draw them. Like,
yep,
it feeds in brilliantly. And now Hawkeye being a more consistent card for the same buff as Rocket Raccoon, which to me, Rocket Raccoon, if you're playing bounce, was always one of the scariest cards to play because the place you would always want to play it, Joaquin Torres, where you want to play it, you never got the benefit from it because everyone's knowing, oh, Joaquin Torres is here. I better not play here for as long as freaking possible because they're gonna rocket me. That's what they're gonna do. Now you got Hawkeye and you don't really got to worry about that too much. You just do the Hawkeye stuff. Like, you're fine.
Card's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
I don't know what bounces, but I know this is like the best card to be bouncing.
So I was, like I said, I had just tested the Red Wolf bounce, and obviously I had taken out the 12th card to put in the 13th card. And I was like, the deck itself, like Tarantula, Toxin, Beast, Bounce, like classically, it felt really, I did Thanos too. Thanos felt really good in that deck. Like really good in that deck. Just literally taking him out and putting Hawkeye in is probably going to be good. Like I'm gonna
I mean,
literally do that Hawkeye, as we speak.
Good ass card. It's a good ass card.
Oh, I already had him in there. I forgot. Yeah, we're just gonna remove.
What the hell is
guy
Crystal doing in here, dude?
Oh, because I was trying the Thanos stuff. I was leaning into Thanos further. It's not as bad as you think. Not as bad as you think. It doesn't need to be there, but not as bad as you think.
Okay.
Let's trying some cheeky stuff. But like the actual shell itself of Boomerang, Beast, and Toxin and getting those cycles to happen with them, it was a lot stronger than I remembered / expected, to be honest.
Noted.
Yeah. Might be worth your time to give it a shot again someday. I don't know what the 11th and 12th card are here, but I'm very happy with the current 10. I know you're going to question the Grandmaster. Don't question it.
Okay. All right. Yep. You're exactly correct. I was, and you said not to, so I won't.
Right.
Yep.
It came in handy way more than I expected, because one of my favorite play lines was to play Hitmonkey as a on curve 3 and then do chaos with Thanos Fractured Frontier in that lane, and then potentially also Grandmaster the Hitmonkey over on the final turn. There was some crazy things that you could do with that Grandmaster rather than just like only get the bounce in there. That was really fun. Anyway, I digress. I got to figure out the 11th and 12th card, but it's a fun deck, and Hawkeye absolutely, that's the wrong button, absolutely benefits the most in that deck, hands down. But a new home for him, which was my point.
Why are you getting mad at me? Like I made you
Because you're like,
that.
You lost me. I'm not. You said all that. I'm only playing them in bounce.
Yep, that's exactly. You're right. That's exactly what I sound like. I sound like Zero Mistel. Yeah, you know who that is, don't you? Yeah.
I do, because I musically directed a production of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. So
love it.
Our audience better know. We'll leave it there. Let's talk about Firehair, because there's one thing about Firehair in particular I do want to talk about, and it has nothing to do with Firehair. And I just want your take on this.
Okay.
So, 2-3 now currently here on this build. I can do my alphabet, I promise. So Firehair. Why did the devs call this the biggest swing they're taking?
Because they have no respect for Hawkeye.
I thought that was Yelena.
I had to like think back and remember. Yeah, no, I can't think of any other reason. It's probably just the best card on their list, and so they're like, it's the biggest swing we're taking because they're like, this is the one that has the 48% win rate, and all the other ones are 45. Like that's probably how it went down.
Here's what you do. You want to take a big swing.
Okay.
You want to take a big swing.
You were contemplating, and I was like, I think I'm right. I think he was thinking that I'm right, and I was wrong.
You want to take a big swing. You make one change to Firehair. You don't leave her at 4 power. Leave her at 2-3. Even leave her at 2-2. Totally cool with that too. When one of your cards is destroyed or discarded, this uses that card's on reveal. Think of the chaos.
No.
Yes.
What? No.
Yes.
The card MODOK exists. That's not a legal card.
I know. Do it.
No, you no.
Take a big swing.
You cannot do that.
You don't even need to play Hella. You just play MODOK. And then it
awful.
discards Hella and makes Hella do it.
Bro. Has anyone come up with the idea, by the way, of playing Doc Ock in Hella to put your Hella back in the deck so you can like, okay, here's the thing. You get the 7 energy on 5, and then you do Doc Ock to get your Hella back in the deck. You play MODOK. That sounds like something you'd pitch to me. Are you mad that I came up with it first?
Okay, so we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll We'll make something happen. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's not that.
Some days I just come up with things and I'm like, that's an arrow to It's Guest Gaming's heart.
Here we go. Yeah.
You think it's this? You think this is better? You think you'd rather do this? You think you'd rather do this than play Hela and MODOK?
I have no goddamn clue.
Just saying.
Because you'll never be happy.
I mean, I don't think either of these ideas will work. I'll say that much.
This is where you contact Hela Enjoyer.
Oh, if only.
Call Dennis and be like, hey, I got an idea.
Yeah, Dennis, would you mind blowing 100 SP for me? Thanks.
I'll be that guy, but I do that anyway organically. So, you know, I willingly, oh my God. I went on a tangent today on stream, and I think it's a good tangent to talk about too, because it wasn't apparent to me until it was brought. I think it was Destructive who brought it up. They were complaining at the idea that I was trying out certain cards and there were too many VFXs on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, God. I'm switching all content. We're stopping what we're playing. And just like how there's the opening animation deck, I started to build a how many VFX can we put on a card in play deck. And it was we got some nightmare looking cards that were able to emerge from. Let me be clear. This is not a playable deck in any potential way, shape, or form. It does not work.
I don't think our audience thought it was.
No. But our audio listeners who are blessed to not see visually the deck of obnoxiousness in front of you, there were some scary looking things. But to be clear, there are a lot of animations that kind of overlap and look very similar and are very, you can't really fully tell 100% of what the card is. But I did discover a bug, which I thought was really funny, where if you have Crackle on Sinister 6 and you play it with Zombie Galacti, the whole middle lane not only gets Crackle, but also gets Zombie Galactified. So the middle lane had like this smog going on in the middle of the location. It was really kind of cool looking. Really kind of cool.
I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew whatever happened would be dumb. You know,
this was a full-on dumb idea. It was all for the content.
No. I mean, with the VFX, right? Like, I didn't know what exactly was going to happen, but I knew whatever happened with the VFX there would be stupid. I knew that much.
It was outright stupid. But rewinding, Firehair going to 2/4 is not the biggest swing in the OTA by a long shot, safely. It's a card that has such a cool, unique mechanic, but just seems consistently difficult to make said mechanic work. Like you have to over-invest in making that work. And I think it's because the cost to destroy cards is so high and there has to be consistent payoffs. But the payoffs that are worthwhile, Firehair can't capitalize on because the only time you ever play Firehair in a Firehair deck is on turn 2. And that's a 40-something% chance to actually make that happen in a deck. And that's just not consistent enough to say, okay, you're doing something cool here. This is a worthwhile variation on destroy. You know?
We've got a visitor.
Hi, visitor. Hi, Meow Mix.
That's
not sponsored.
Baby.
Sponsor her.
Definitely
sponsor
not
her.
Sponsored, I fear.
Sponsor
they
her.
should sponsor us. You're right.
They should sponsor.
I need to get cat related sponsorships, dude.
There you go.
Great.
You get glasses ones eventually, so you get
I have
ones.
the glasses ones. I have a link.
You got it?
Genuinely, yes. I have a sponsorship link for the glasses, but I'm waiting on a discount code. But I have a sponsorship link on the glasses. I really do. I can send people a link. I was supposed to get a discount code. I haven't gotten the discount code yet. I need to bother my agent about that. But like, yes, I'm really happy with that. I was up their ass about it.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Now, Purina. We will get there. There's baby steps, you know. I'd love to do that for my dogs. It's such a core part of my stream. You failed so miserably to mute the microphone. I saw you try. You gave it your all.
I was like, oh, we're done.
You gave it your all, and you fell short of the finish line. Instead, we got off the mic. I know you're such a professional. God. Just don't do that on Saturday.
I will definitely do that on Saturday, brother.
I am well aware. What are your
100% chance? What's up?
What do you think about them having to announce the OTA 2 days early because of the Golden Gauntlet? Because of this OTA, do you think that the weight of this OTA, which, let's be honest, it's literally Wilson Fisk, do you think the weight of this OTA honestly justified releasing it out early? Because I don't know how damaging from a competitive level stance that point of power is on Wilson Fisk, that it would have broke registrations for the amount of people that would have brought Wilson Fisk decks that are now potentially not bringing Wilson Fisk decks.
Is it not just like, oh, this is the correct thing to do kind of thing? Like, is it not just like a case where they're just better off doing the right thing than doing the wrong thing?
I'm about that, obviously.
But
I'm saying from a gameplay, like, how big of an impact will the change to Wilson Fisk actually have on the Golden Gauntlet?
Probably not much.
So that's why I'm saying, was it worth it to do so? Because you think about, I'm playing devil's advocate. Consistency, it costs them reliability to say
How does it cost them those things?
Because if you're one of the people who happen to use Discord, who happen to interact with the game on social media, you got the information early.
Well, what are you suggesting should have happened instead? What are you suggesting should have happened instead?
No, I'm not saying that it was the wrong move. What I'm saying is the impact of Wilson Fisk, because if there was a more impactful OTA, right? I think it just further justifies it even more. But I also believe that there might have been a potential, like, why break the pattern of consistency for this OTA of all OTAs? Like, this is a very +1, -1 OTA. They only nerfed one card, and it's still very good. Was it enough to justify it? That's what I mean.
I guess what I'm struggling with is the idea that they need to justify it. I guess that's the thing I'm struggling with right here. Is like, I don't know that they need to justify it. Why is it that you think that they do?
Because the Marvel Snap community is as we've learned from series drops, they are creatures of habit. And
right, and
if you
what
tell
they've
me
done is set the precedent that when this happens, they'll do the OTA early, even if the OTA is not something that matters.
We've only ever done it one other time, and it was, if I remember correctly, it was a pretty meaningful OTA, which is why they released that one early.
Okay.
This one just did not seem like it was meaningful.
I kind of agree. It wasn't particularly meaningful.
Right.
I don't think that implies to me that they should have not done it.
How do you think the OTA, not the OTA, how do you think the Golden Gauntlet then shifts because of this? Does this change the decks generally?
Sorry, I think we're having two separate conversations. I don't care if it changes the decks in any meaningful way. It's the right thing to do for competitive integrity. I don't give a shit. Like, do you care about the tournament or not? Like, I don't care. Like, I don't want a bureaucrat or whatever making a judgment call as to whether or not they think an OTA will matter. I don't want them doing that. I want them telling us when they're going to do an OTA before a tournament. I don't want them to be like, oh, well, we didn't think this, because they could be wrong.
Absolutely could be wrong. could have been wrong.
I just don't want them thinking about shit like that. I don't want it involved at all.
It's definitely a safer play, 100%. Is it the right thing to do for those competitors? Yes. 1,500 people registering. Compared to the entire rest of the player base, is that the right thing to do? That's the weight of conversation that I'm bringing up.
It is. It is the right thing to do. How does it hurt them?
You lose the pattern of trust because of the creatures of habit for the other X thousand people.
I don't think that's a real cost. I don't know. I don't think that's a real cost. You're not losing the pattern of trust. If they're not on Discord to know, how are they ever going to know? You know what I mean? If they don't know that the OTA is coming out early because they're not on social media and they don't interact with anything, how do they even know they've been wronged?
Maybe it just feels for me. I don't know.
I get what you're saying is like there could be a theoretical cost, but when you get down to the practicality of it, I can't imagine the person to whom this cost would apply.
Your Toilet Joes, that's kind of
But Toilet Joe doesn't know the thing came out early on Discord because he's Toilet Joe. So he's not hurt by it, and his habits are the same. Because unless he stopped eating fiber, he's going to keep playing Marvel Snap at the same time. I knew as I was building up to that it was going to be a good one. Like, I could feel it.
I'm pretty sure Joe did too. Marvel Snap took its fiber. Here we go. No, Marvel Snap stopped taking its fiber. There you go. There's
they're not regular anymore.
Marvel Snap stopped taking its fiber. There you go. That will be some variation of the title. All right. All right. Switching gears on the OTA. Off of the OTA. We talked about Red Wolf. Onto the Golden Gauntlet, because obviously this will come out on a Friday. The Golden Gauntlet is happening on Saturday. You can watch it on Marvel Snap on Twitch. I would like to hear your predictions based on the current meta, because we know that there's going to be an ungodly amount of Thanos Fractured Frontier. It all happens with every season pass.
That was going to be my prediction. Fuck, man. That was it. That was my prediction, bro.
My question is, because it's a competitive game, right? The people who are entering these tournaments, we see the patterns. The season pass is always one of the top 10 cards. So there's going to be a lot of Thanos Fractured Frontier. Because of that, what cards enter into the top 10 most played because they are the direct counters to Thanos Fractured Frontier?
That's a really interesting question. Because I think you less build to counter Thanos Fractured Frontier than you build to counter his decks. So Scorpion Brand New Day is a card that comes to mind as a potentially really interesting thing to be doing. I think that Magic actually quite good against a lot of Thanos stuff, unless you're really packing the answers to it.
The Magic on 5 play? You mean?
Yeah, the Magic on 5 play. Yeah. Okay. Like I think only Thanos cleanly fits answers to Magic into its package, because every other Thanos deck has to be like, all right, well, 70% of the people I play are going to be Thanos decks. So I have to play the best possible version of a deck that is good in other Thanos decks, which means you can't play that tech card. You have to play a tech card that's good to Thanos decks. So you just can't play like anything that beats Magic. You don't have the ability to, because if you run into a Thanos matchup, you're just like dead, right? And I think a better player can like pack the tech and like outskill and just be like, that's fine, I'm gonna eat that, right? Like Andrevar does this a lot, where he'll take the most teched out, least points version of a deck and just be like, if I play against anyone doing the same thing I'm doing, I'm just gonna have to outskill them. Like, it's just gonna have to happen, right? And sometimes it will, and sometimes it won't. And like, that is a viable choice for sure. I think that the thing that sticks out about the process here, though, is, are you going to be Thanos, or are you going to be trying to beat Thanos? And that's really the only two questions that I'm asking about what's going to be what's going to happen in this Golden Gauntlet.
I am very curious to see how people play dealing with the Thanos everything, because gut check says, okay, you want to obviously try to take prio and then just nip it in the bud with a Cosmo. I can understand that mindset. At the same time, I think if I had to make a prediction, I think this is going to end up being, because it is a later showcase of the season pass than other Golden Gauntlets. Typically, we do the Golden Gauntlet on the first Saturday of a new season. This is the second Saturday. So we've had a lot more time to figure out the meta because of the 3 to now, in this case, 5 new cards that have entered the meta. And I'd say 3.5 of them are regularly in the meta right now, making an impact. And I do think that there's something to be said for having that extra week of experience with Thanos, where it's pretty widely accepted that it is a really good card and can go into a variety of different shells, but how do you beat it has not necessarily been fully fleshed out yet. I think this is going to be the moment where we figure it out, because someone's going to find the combo and it's going to get showcased. And whether they win or not, I'm saying it's going to be someone's going to find it, make the top 16 with it, showcase a crazy interaction or a great synergy or something along those lines that we are not experimenting with yet, and be like, aha, that's how you're supposed to do it.
I hope you're right. I'm worried it won't be like that.
And that's fair.
In as much as Thanos combo stuff comes to mind, it's kind of just the Wong stuff, which is, I don't know. I'll tell you what card I'm hopeful to see. I don't know if we'll get there. I'm hopeful to see some Hydro Man Skaar.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hopeful to see.
I would agree with that.
I'll tell you what card I'm worried I'll see. I'm worried I'll see some Mobius. That's
very fair.
That's what I'll say. I'll say both of those things.
Yeah, I would love to see a high presence of the Hydro Man decks. I really would love to see outside the box creative solutions get showcased. And obviously, you know, as the production manager, I'm going to be looking for those decks. I'm going to be looking, especially in the early rounds where you have the wider
you
variety.
Should set a bounty. You should set a bounty. You'll be like, if you bring this, we'll put you on screen.
I have previously. I said, if you run a deck
I know. You
full
yes,
it was all of the beach variants, you will get on the street. No one did.
No one did it. But what about an attainable one? What you did was you made your bounty pay to win. You made your bounty pay to win. $300 Luna Snow variant.
Yeah,
it's a disgusting act. The pay to win bounty, dude.
It's a marketing expense. What's your point? I don't want to put out a legitimately attainable bounty because too many people will do it.
Too many
people do it. To be honest, yeah, too many people will do it. But I will say, I am looking forward to seeing how people play into and play around Thanos Fractured Frontier in this game, in this tournament. Like, I've been trying to lean into the idea of what can I do with my deck that's going to showcase this is a stupid, insanely awesome thing to do that's really easy to pull off and is very high value consistently. And I'm looking at, like, whenever, like, for example, you're doing the Wong stuff right now, which counterable, but if you can't counter it, you're dead. Plain and simple. It's just like the Scorpion stuff. If you can't counter it, you're dead. Plain and simple. I think that you don't need to get 3 of something out of Thanos to have, you know, a good thing happen. I think even something as simple like a Spider-Man Brand New Day, Cull Obsidian, like that combo with Thanos Fractured Frontier, 20 power in a lane, and then moving the Thanos out. That's a strong ass lane. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at figure out what the solutions are. find the unique thing.
Yeah, Kraglin.
Kraglin's fun too.
Kraglin a Thanos, baby. It is sick as hell. That's a 3/9 and a 3/13. Unless, of course, you hit something that you don't want to hit.
Like your Thanos prior.
Which you never do. You just don't do that. A good player would simply avoid doing that.
I know that.
And if it ever happens to you, it's because you're a bad player.
All right, but
yep, that's how it works.
I'm also really curious to see how people decide to counter it. Like I said, leaning into the effect is one thing, figuring out how to counter the effect is the other. And I would love to see creative counters, like a turn 6 Nova. That's a great, or a turn 5 Nova. That's a great ass counter. If you think you know where it's going, you play in that Nova down and let the Thanos destroy the Nova. Now you got nothing but upside. Like
what is it that you think counter means?
Play into.
No, I understand the play line you're describing. I don't think it can be appropriately labeled as a counter. Because Thanos does, importantly, a bunch of other stuff.
Well, yeah, I know it does. I'm saying if it fits in your game plan to at least benefit from it doing its thing rather than what we'll call stopping its thing.
You mean you might describe it as countering its thing? That might be how you describe fully stopping its thing.
Sometimes you have to play defense and sometimes you have to play offense. And in that instance, that's using an offensive maneuver as defense.
I hear you. I just don't think I would call it a counter. Where exactly? I'll phrase this a different way. Over under on the amount of Novas in the field.
Oh, way fucking less than Sam Wilson's.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one who does the work.
I know.
That's the guy right there. Cap's shield. Oh
yeah.
What a
Cap shields.
What a like. Sam Wilson is genuinely. No one acknowledges this because he's kind of quiet about it. Just consistently the single stupidest card in Marvel Snap. Like the answer to every question in Marvel Snap for reasons that are completely unknown to anybody is just always Sam Wilson. What do I want to play with my move package? Sam Wilson. What do I want to play with my Aurora? Sam Wilson. What do I want to play with my ongoing deck? Sam Wilson. What do I want to play to try to prevent my stuff from being blown up by Thanos? Sam Wilson. Every time. It is unbelievable. And oh, by the way, he's a 2/7. And it's like, what the hell is that card? He's a 2/7. He's been nerfed 3 times. He's still as good as a card can be. It is astonishing to me that he continues to get away with this. Like the whole Batroc package, it's a little astonishing to me because it's like Sam Wilson has been absurd for an extended period of time. Batroc's just been like a 110 the whole time. He's just never not been a 110. I recently expounded on a theory of balance that I think they should take into consideration, which is nerf everything until you have to nerf Batroc and then nerf Batroc. That is my like overarching theory of balance. And it's just like make it so a little scalar 1/2 deck is good, and then also nerf that too, and then we'll see what happens, right? Like,
yeah. I think this is the event that gets Sam Wilson nerfed.
That's criminal. If they nerf Sam Wilson before they nerf Thanos Fractured Frontier, we're gonna start a criminal investigation.
Not at all. I mean, they don't nerf season passes in the season that they're in. Very, very rarely.
Criminal. It would be criminal to be like, we need to weaken the card that stops Thanos from doing his least fun thing. Criminal. They are better than that.
As much as they are, the nerf to him doesn't stop you from playing him. It just lowers the ceiling for winning later on.
He should have been a 2/2 3 months ago.
Oh, 3 months ago.
Free. Just whenever. He should have been a 2/2 whenever. It's
when they turn the shield into on reveal.
They could have done
That's when it should have happened. It should have been a full-on double
Sam Wilson
smack.
gets nerfed. Every time Sam Wilson gets nerfed, idiots, myself included, idiots like myself are like, oh, this probably makes him not good. We're never right. They've never nerfed Sam Wilson in a way that matters. You cannot kill him in a way that matters. It cannot be done. He is immortal.
Stupid shield.
Yep.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy, but that's a reference you don't get. I expect to see an ungodly amount of Sam Wilsons. That I think that is the number one counter to salvaging your game plan legitimately.
I think he's pretty good. I still wouldn't call him a counter, but he's just a card you do want if you don't want to get your ship kicked in.
He disables the strongest part of the ability. I think,
it's more just like if I had to like rate them on a scale, right? Like let's say the boom boom is a 5, the discount is a 4. You know what I mean? And so like, you know, disabling that 5, that's cool. But like, let's say he gets, you know, a 4, a 3, a 2, like he's still getting, the number's still pretty big. He's still like a card that's worth playing. One of the things that someone asked me is like, if they took out the destroy entirely and he was just, you know, 5 shots Thanos, would you still play him? And it's like, yeah, absolutely. And like if they replace the destroy with like gain 3 more power or whatever, would you still play him? Yeah, absolutely. Right? Like the destroy is the one that you feel the most because it's the one that impacts you. And I do think that it's a mistake to put the highest. It's sort of like Gambit, right? Where it's like, why'd you use so much power budget on some shit that sucks ass to play against? Where I don't understand that part, but it's also just like not the entire reason the card is good, right? Like it just is, it's a small part of the package, right? And that is, I think, way more true of Thanos than it was of Gambit, right? Where it's like, Gambit is good because he's blowing up your stuff, but if he just got gained in a, like, if what Gambit said was like, gain an appreciable amount of power instead of blowing up your stuff. Like if he said, if what he said was, add the total number of power of the things that I'd be targeting to your side of the board or on those lanes. If what he said was functionally him doing the same thing, but he just wasn't blowing stuff up, people would hate him a lot less. And so it is sort of a question of like, why the hell would you put the majority of the power budget into that? But I don't know. That's maybe I just want to make things too easy and too nice. Because I do think Thanos has 5 stones that are largely fun. And then 1 stone that people are like, Jesus Christ.
This thing again.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, if I had to make a prediction of, like, well, better yet, prediction is the wrong word. If I were actually playing in this event because of Thanos Fractured Frontier, because of just the way this meta seems to be shaping, and again, there's a reason I've never played, and it's not because I produced, okay? I would be looking at some kind of tech interactive ongoing deck as the direction I would go. And it would be based on hybriding a low package of the Sam Wilson, Batroc, Madam Web combo to make those things happen with Jean Grey. Because I think Jean Grey is probably the actual answer, because then you're keeping the locations locked. You're able to disable, you're able to block it, you're able to buff it later on.
Why wouldn't you just play Batroc? What's wrong with that?
Because I don't think that this is the moment people get ready to clip. I don't think the general Batroc deck takes down most of the Thanos Fractured Frontier decks.
Oh, dude, I actually think it does. It's not like a clippable offense. I think most people will probably agree with you. I think I'm the one with the minority opinion where it's like, I'm still not convinced Thanos is better in Batroc than just like playing Hellion Iska or whatever. I'm very much not convinced of that. And I think that like, it's an opinion you only really see with people who are like really good at Batroc, right? But like Derek said that, Butt said that. It's kind of like guys who are hanging out in the top 10 a lot of the time. That's the opinion they have. And like basically no one else will ever have that opinion. And I, you know, like, I'm not saying this is generally applicable advice, but like if you're playing in a Golden Gauntlet, very likely you'll run into one of those guys, you know?
Yeah.
Farther you get, the more likely it is. And I do think that there's a real chance you'll be surprised. Like that is, that deck is still really, really damn good. I'll give you another deck that's really damn good that nobody's playing. Multiple Man. I don't know why the
Yeah.
hell people stop playing that deck. That deck is good as shit. Like, that deck is unbelievably strong.
It is really, really good. But
Yep.
I would bet, I won't bet, but I would bet that in the top 16, that we see more decks that have Luke Cage in it than because I'm thinking about the Scorpion encounters and I'm trying to think of like, I don't think we see a bunch of Super Giants. I don't think we see Arishams. I don't think we see those kinds of decks make the top 16. I think Luke Cage is a key card to get into the top 16. I think, I mean, Cosmo's Cosmo, your high play rate, but only a select few capitalize the best on him. Trying to think of a standout card that typically makes the top that I don't think makes the top this go around.
I guess typically makes the top, rules out my girl Victoria hand, I suppose. There we go.
Yeah. I think that one.
I'll make a call out that I'm gonna get absolutely blown the fuck out on this one. This one, I want everyone to know I'm doing it for content. It's not because I sincerely believe it, but because I think there is a higher chance than normal of it. And I think it would be really cool if I called this. Super Giant.
So Cerebro's going to win it all. I honestly don't think, like, even those who pilot it well, I still don't think it's going to take down most of it, because the thing that, here's what you really want to do. You want to play a Super Giant deck, because the best thing for your opponent, hands down, to counter them is to hide your Thanos and then play more cards after it to get it to all the full loadout every time. Come on.
Does that work?
Yeah, if you have it hidden.
It loads even when he's face down?
Well, yeah, he hasn't done the on reveal yet.
Dane, why does that work? Galactus First Steps, when it's face down, does not gain power. Why the hell would Thanos work that way?
Because the loading of the shots continues.
Again, right. I understand you're telling me it does. Shouldn't it not? Like, why did one of those feels wrong, right? Like, if Galactus First Steps doesn't gain power when it's face down on the board, hasn't been revealed, why wouldn't it gain power if the Thanos stuff works? One of those has to be wrong, right?
But isn't the Galactus one, doesn't it say it in hand?
Galactus does show it in hand.
No, said like in the text.
Oh.
Yeah, it says if hand or in play. Yeah. It's if hand or in play. No, it's not. It is not considered in play because it has not revealed. That's why.
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. That one of those shouldn't work. I don't know. That messes with me. I don't like it. Revert this Nerf. Come on. Get out of here. Revert this Nerf, dog.
Drax is the one who caught a stray. This one, I can understand. Drax.
What do you mean Drax caught a stray? You're saying it caught a stray by not being buffed more?
No, I think Drax was fine where he was. I think he caught a stray from the Aurora decks.
Oh, dude, you're not going to believe it. I was actually thinking about the Drax they buffed in this OTA. I was like, what the fuck? What is he talking about?
I would
Drax
make fun of you, but that's a legitimate, I would make fun of you. But we had back-to-back OTAs where two different Draxes were fucked with.
Maybe the people that hate every retrain are right. Like, maybe all the people that are just like, they should never make a card that's the same card as something else. Maybe they are right. Maybe they're onto something.
We just got Earth 383. Don't do this to me.
Did you see what Glenn responded when you did your quote unquote hot take of like, it's actually good for the game that Marvel Snap releases other characters, and Glenn just posted the
it was
Mr.
like
Freeze gif.
a cold. Yeah, it was a cold reaction.
Like this is the coldest take of all time. Like, yeah, it's good for the game that they make money. That's crazy. I had no idea. That's unbelievable.
But I heard that hot take as well, and I liked the way that you approached it. Did I put it intentionally to get your take on it? 100%.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I think
everyone
it's an
knows
important
that.
conversation to have. I thought it was an important conversation to have in that type of context where there are two very clear sides on this, where it's like, yeah, there is a load out there. There is what is it, like 5 bajillion characters, I want to say?
There's a
A
load out there.
out there.
A load out there.
Yeah, there is. It's out there. Living in
It's
the
out
sun.
there.
Give me one day out there. All I ask is one. Anyway.
So there's a load out there.
Mm-hmm. I like hearing when people talk about it, where they're trying to figure out which side of the fence they're on, because clearly you can't enjoy both. You have to, be on one side of the fence or on the other, and that's
it's
it.
the internet. You're not allowed to,
exactly. You can't be impartial, or you can't be, no, you must have an opinion, and you must be fully into that opinion all the time.
Yep.
And I think it's pretty safe that as someone who has played a lot of the game and has learned a lot about a lot of these characters over the last several years, and has been pleasantly, surprised by community reception to very obscure characters, right? Like, for example, Infinite, Jeff the Baby Land Shark. These are characters that did not have...
but there's a tweet that I still remember, which is... Marvel Snap is so funny because they made a bunch of cards without considering that they should make the good cards the good characters. So now they're like 50 sketches deep selling variants of the Infinite, a character who appeared for 6 issues in 2011. It's a very real critique that I think I come back to a lot.
Yeah, and I absolutely get that. And as long as we keep getting, I'd say a majority, if we keep getting a majority of unique characters, I would feel like that's totally fine. I don't mind getting...
Isn't happening though.
Say again?
Just isn't happening though. We've got it's a very vast minority of new characters.
Again,
am I misunderstanding what you mean by unique here?
I'm trying to tell you how I feel, KM.
Right, no, I'm just trying to
Then let me finish the fucking sentence and you'll know.
I can't do that, okay? I'm jumping ahead. This is important. I'm looping.
Aladdin, shut up. Okay.
Prince of Persia. Sands of Time.
You know how that game has scarred me, so fuck you. That game got me fired from said insert toy store name here when I was 16. So I personally would love to see a majority of unique characters and then also, sure, we're going to have we got Earth 383 now, right? We got this whole season of reimagined characters that we know that are, either popular or well-liked, or they're looking for a themed, we have the projected Hell Cow, right? This is a Western, a cow. I get it. Totally get it. Makes total sense.
I like it.
But don't stop bringing me unique characters.
Sure.
I personally would like to see more unique characters if I were to look at the scope of a whole year, whole season, because you can't say a whole season, because sometimes there are themed seasons where every character is going to be of said season. I get it's just unavoidable. So you got to look at the full scope of how many new characters versus how many recycled characters do we get in 2026. This is not me asking you to go look it up on the internet. This is what the comments are for. But yeah. I personally would like to see a larger number of unknown characters get their first release versus reimagined characters be released in the game. That's just me and my personal take and my flavor of what I enjoy about the game, because it's been unique for me in that aspect. However, I know that if I want the game to stay around as a player, which is what the take was, it is healthy to reimagine a popular character and put it into the game because it brings more people to the game, which keeps the game alive. Whales need to feed on krill. You have to keep the game alive.
I also just like whenever I look up the characters, people are like, "Oh, I'm disappointed they didn't have this guy." It's like not only a guy I've never heard of, but a guy who has incredibly funny Wikipedia pages. So like for the wiki for like here, this is the Two Gun Kid. The Two Gun Kid was a Harvard. Sorry, this is so funny. Matt Hawk, born Matthew Leibowitz. 5 words in, and I am just. He's one of us.
Why did he change his name?
I can't imagine.
The Leibowitzer is here. You know, like.
Yep. So funny, man. It's just like every time I read about one of the characters that's not in the game that someone presumably loves somewhere, I'm just like, who the fuck is this? And I totally understand because like there are characters like I love some glup shittos too. I just think the difference is like, yeah, I want them, but it's not the game's fault for not giving them to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm aware that this is a product, right? Like I want Zemnu and Dario Augur and everyone from Immortal Hulk and like Red Harpy, but like you don't know who that is, so like,
I wouldn't mind learning that though. I am curious.
I get it.
That's cool. To me, that's a part of the flavor of the game. So if you're gonna give me a third Ghost Rider, make sure that I also get a Glub Shitto. You know.
I should just name it the Third Ghost Rider.
From here on out, it's like senior, junior, the third, the fourth, like every Ghost Rider iteration. You know it's inevitable. Like when is that Ryan Gosling Ghost Rider video, movie supposed to come out? Like whenever that season is, years from now.
Ghost Rider First Steps. Ghost Rider First Wheels.
Ghost Rider Wheels Up.
No, it's got to say it's Ghost Rider First Skulls.
I'm just
Ghost Rider First Flames. Every card is First Steps in my head.
Where are my Wheels Up people? If you know Wheels Up, you'll comment below because I highly doubt you'll get that reference.
They should make a second Herbie so it can be Herbie Fully Loaded.
That is fucking genius.
Dude, the loads are out there. Just gotta go get them.